Never say never, Mike.
Never say never. So, we're going to go into a little background of Dogma, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the movie, and then we'll talk about kind of a thing that's going on, and it's been going on forever. But we haven't discussed it on the show, and I would like to.
Yes.
Welcome to Nice Ashes. Join hosts Mike and Nate for cigars and culture. Let's go beyond the smoke.
What are we smoking today, Nate?
It's the Duke of Earl. Duke. No, it's not the Duke of Earl, but it is, I think it's pronounced Duke. Mike is going to hop on here in 1 second and tell me how stupid I am for mispronouncing it.
I mean, I think you're right, even though in my head I say Dooku, like Count Dooku.
Oh, sure. It's treason. It's treason then. Duque. Most of the letters, I believe, are silent. So it must be French. This one is long. There's a bit of spice on the cap.
Yeah, it's not bad. It didn't taste bad. It doesn't smell offensive.
Yeah, the cap is a bit spicy. Did you experience the same, Mike?
I wouldn't say spicy, but it does taste like a Maduro. Doesn't look like a Maduro.
No, it's long.
After the first few puffs, I think I like this one so far. Like, I'm genuinely surprised.
Yeah, it's got not a buttery taste, but it's got like that chestnut or I know we don't often say this taste descriptor because we don't often smoke cigars like this, but it does have that real nice kind of flavor. And I'm getting spice off the cap, but you might not be.
I'm getting a spicy, like fiery, like roasted chestnut.
Yes,
kind of feel. It's actually quite pleasant.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
I mean, if this ends as good as it started, it's probably going to be a 5.
Well, there's a lot of cigar left for that.
Okay. What are you pairing your cigar with today?
Oh, yes. I am pairing my cigar with a 0 sugar Shasta root beer. And don't tell anyone but about a triple Black Russian.
There we go. I was like, oh, Shasta. Something must be going on.
Oh, something is going on.
Yeah, something is going on. Some Black Russians. I like it.
Yes.
I'm trying a new drink combination.
Okay.
I got some new bitters, and they are cherry and cacao bitters. So I put enough bitters in my ice water to make it flavored, and then I have whiskey on the side. The ever popular Crown Royal.
Yes. I thought I heard some ice cubes clinking, so I knew you were drinking something exciting.
I shook it a little bit when I was describing it, unfortunately. I'll try not to do that for the rest of the
I meant earlier in the before we started recording, I heard some
yeah.
Right?
Yep. So there we go, listeners. Anyway, so we're going to see. I might end up making it into a mixed drink, like a whiskey water. I don't know. I was planning on using it as a little bit of a taste chaser separately, just in case we had a bad cigar. So
sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good, Mike. You've got, you were telling me something experimental to try. Is this something we want to do on air? Is this something we're allowed to tell our wives about?
Well, it ain't gay unless it ain't gay if it's a 3-way.
So this cigar is actually pronounced, I looked it up because, why, Mike?
Internet the show?
Yes. It's pronounced
Google the show.
Duque.
Yeah, there we go.
It's a Sumatra wrapper from the Dominican Republic. So,
okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to be as good as the Dominican cigars we have for later. We'll see.
I'm not sure. We've got you can get a pack of 25 of them for $37, so a little over $1 a stick if you go to Cigars International. Not a sponsor. Yada yada. So anyway. Carry on, Mike.
These are cheap, is what the rule is here. So yes, we have we have an experimental episode. It's going to be a little mix and match. But the base of the episode is that they re-released Dogma, and my wife and
I saw they did that.
Yeah, we went to the theater and saw it because there was a theater that was showing it, and we both wanted to see it, and it was quite pleasant as always. So I wanted to do a little coverage of Dogma as a background. Typically, you and I both watch a movie, but because it is well known that Dogma has had some legal issues, as a possibility, unless you owned a DVD, that you would not be able to find a copy of Dogma to watch that you would admit to finding on the show. How do we put it gently, right? Like there's no legal method to find a fresh copy of Dogma at the current time, unless you got like somehow managed to get a used DVD, but it is rare because of reasons. And we're going to go into the background of that.
Yes. I have to try and think. I don't know if I ever had that one on DVD. I had a really big DVD collection at one time. And been trying to have, I don't want to say less physical media, but I mean, DVD now is almost as bad. It's not as bad. Don't get me wrong. VHS is terrible quality. But, when you've got 1080 scans of all these shows and movies and things, it's very difficult to go back to even DVD quality. So I don't know if some of my British DVDs have survived the kind of the purge of, replacing it with Blu-ray because they're, British and difficult to find, and they're not putting like Mr. Bean in 4K. I don't know why, but they're just not doing it.
No, bunch of fuckers. They probably didn't record it in high def, I'm going to guess.
Well, yes, there's that.
Well, for example, like Deep Space Nine, there's never going to be a high definition version because they didn't record it in high definition. They recorded it in standard television format for the 90s.
Well, that's similar with Scrubs. The first 4 seasons were not in high def at all, but fan editing is a legal practice if you edit things for yourself and don't make money off of it and educational. And I'm not a lawyer, so don't listen to any of this, but a fan went and used AI to upscale the first 4 seasons to 1080. And I have not seen that, but from what I have maybe not seen, it looked really good. So never say never, Mike.
Never say never. So, we're going to go into a little background of Dogma, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the movie, and then we'll talk about kind of a thing that's going on, and it's been going on forever. We haven't discussed it on the show, and I would like to.
Yes.
So, background to Dogma.
Now, it's been a long time since I've seen Dogma, Mike. I know that when I first became aware of, I don't really know what you would call it, the kind of Kevin Smith filmology, right? Because that's a Kevin Smith film.
It is.
I watched through all of them, right? And I liked Clerks so much that I got the special DVD with the original ending in which Dante dies. And then, of course, like Clerks 2. And Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma. I remember liking Dogma. For the life of me, I can't remember a lot about it other than it has. And I should rewatch it because it sounds even more up my alley now than when I initially watched it, probably. But who plays Gabriel again? Tilda Swinton, or is that someone else?
There is no Gabriel in this one.
Oh. Sorry.
There is the Megatron and various other angels.
Sure.
That Megatron is played by Alan Rickman.
Oh, yeah. Is this the one with Dashboard Jesus?
No, this is the one with Buddy Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy Christ.
Buddy Christ, that's it. Sorry.
Buddy Christ. Yeah, yes. So, background, Dog was a 99 fantasy comedy film. It has Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, George Carlin, Linda Florentino, Janine Garofalo, Chris Rock, Jason Lee, Salma Hayek, Buddy Cort, Alan Rickman, Jason Mewes, Kevin Smith, and of course, Alanis Morissette.
That's the one I was trying to think of. She played God.
Yeah. Alanis played God. Yeah. And these are all people who were very famous in the 90s. Obviously, some of them are still famous, and they're kind of regulars in the Kevin Smith universe. All of his movies kind of have reoccurring characters, the least of which are Jay and Silent Bob.
Yes.
So the story revolves around 2 fallen angels who find a loophole. George Carlin plays a Catholic bishop who is trying to do Catholicism plus. And so he releases a Buddy Christ, a new Christ character, because the church is trying to revamp for the 21st century. And it's, look it up, the pictures on the internet if you're listening. It's humorous and irreverent. And anyway, he also states that they're going to do a 100-year anniversary and that anybody who walks into the church is going to be absolved of their sin. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are fallen angels who want to walk through the gate so they can go back to heaven. And then hilarity ensues. They find Yeah, they find prophets who weren't in the Bible and muses and
Jason
all these
muses?
mythical. Yeah, Jason muses. Not exactly. The muses like Greek mythology.
I know.
Muses.
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, and shit demons, and it's like a cross-country comedy that has religious overtones. And of course,
directed by Kevin Smith, of course.
Directed by Kevin Smith, where Jay and Silent Bob are prophets, and the great grandniece of Jesus is an abortion doctor who does not have a uterus. So
yes,
that is and I don't want to ruin it just in case somebody does find a copy or somehow goes and watches it in a movie theater.
Well, I'm sure it's streaming everywhere, Mike.
We'll get into that. So Dogma was, of course, released in 1999. It made it to DVD in 2000. They had a special edition in 2001. And it was originally a Columbia film. It was bought out from Disney by Miramax. So Disney is the one who produced this film. They got so much heat that it was bought by Miramax. And Miramax, of course, released it. And because of the heat that the Catholic Church put on it, they stopped producing DVDs for it in 2008. Sure. So the Catholic League labeled it blasphemous, and they called for a boycott of Disney. And then, of course, they called for a boycott of Miramax and a boycott of Columbia. Every motion picture organization that has ever had this has been boycotted.
Sure. If you want to fight the boycott, you can get a Blu-ray copy of this for about $40 on eBay.
There we go.
Well, here's one. This one's signed, but $320. Some of them go for $90, but it, depends.
Kevin Smith bought the rights of the film back.
Oh, okay.
And that is why it's doing a 25th anniversary tour in theaters with a Q&A from him.
Sure.
And he may re-release it on Blu-ray because
he'd be silly not to.
He'd be silly not to. It's his highest grossing film, and there hasn't been a DVD of it in almost 20 years. Yes. So I am lucky enough to own a DVD that is a Dogma DVD, but that does not stream anywhere. It's been banned pretty much everywhere it's ever been. So it's possibly one of the most banned films in modern history. As far as that goes. And it's not super offensive. It's just irreverent. And it's got famous comedians in it, so it's hilarious,
Well, yeah, anytime
Kevin
you have
Smith's...
George Carlin in anything, you're getting, because he's not a fan of the church in anything I've ever seen him in, is stand-up.
No, and one of the major characters is Chris Rock,
yes,
who's comedy legend himself, not to mention, Kevin Smith, who produced a lot of really funny movies in his time.
Yes.
So this 25th anniversary coming back to theaters, 1,500 theaters to be exact. Apparently, there are DVDs that are in the works. So
sure,
there we go. And this is kind of the experimental nature, because we first of all, we always watch movies together, and this is the ones that we literally couldn't.
Well, we could
obvious
have,
reasons.
Mike. We watched Song of the South together, for God's sakes.
Well, that's public domain. That's public domain, and it's foreign. Foreign countries, that's what I mean, is that this is a banned film. There is no distribution anywhere on Earth. Whereas, like, Song of the South at least still has distribution in foreign countries, just not in the United
we watched
States.
it on Internet Archive.
Right. It's like open domain.
Yeah.
So, nothing illegal about it. Whereas, like, there is no legal version of this you can view unless you have a old DVD.
Yeah, or know somebody who has an old DVD.
Yeah, or know somebody who's got an old DVD.
I know you,
here.
Mike.
Well, that's also true. So what I kind of wanted to do leading into this is...
Are you going to reenact the movie?
No. Well, we kind of already talked about it.
Because that would be experimental.
Yeah.
You playing all the parts, just reading from the script?
Yes. Oh, my God.
A live performance from Mike.
If we got Chris Rock on the show.
Oh, well,
that would be hilarious.
We can. We've gotten some good guests this year so far.
That is true. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the summer release schedule for the movies, and not new ones, but old ones. And we could talk about new ones too.
Yeah.
What I would prefer to talk about old ones, because new movies suck ass.
Yeah,
and,
man.
There might be 2 this year that are released that I want to watch. and I don't want to watch them in a theater.
Oh, you don't want to watch them in a theater?
I can't think of a single movie that's going to be new this year that I want to watch in a movie theater.
I can think of one that I would love to go see in the movie theater that's coming out this year.
What's that?
Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
That, I don't know if that's a movie theater movie. That might be a home movie for me, you know?
You know what? In the state of Minnesota, weed is legal, so you can smoke up and go to the movie theater, Mike. Nobody's stopping you.
That's true.
I'm just saying Guillermo del Toro is one of the few filmmakers still making films that are actual films and not money grabs.
I haven't seen one of his movies in a while, so I will take your word for it.
He did a stop motion Pinocchio with Ian McGregor. That was fantastic.
What was it called?
It was called Pinocchio.
Oh.
Because it was not associated with Disney, because Disney does not own the Pinocchio story. They own the Disney version of the story.
Sure.
But they don't own the fairy tale or whatever. So that one I'm very excited about. There's a couple Predator movies coming out. Predator Killer of Killers is already out. It's an animated one. So I'm going to watch that, but not in theaters. I don't think it's getting a theatrical release. It looks like a violent cartoon, right? Like animated. And then I'll probably watch the new, whatever the new Predator one is called. I can't remember offhand. Predator something, but it's being kind of torn apart. The teaser trailer is being torn apart online because the Predator does not look like a Predator. And it looks like a boy band member or something, but I'll watch it just
like
because.
Like a boy band member.
Yes. Well, I don't know. The dreads aren't how they should be, and the face is way more human than it should be. And I don't know. It's but it's by the same director. Both those movies are by the same director that did Prey, the Native American one, the Native Americans with the Predator. And I thought that movie was pretty good. My third favorite Predator movie after Predator, the original one with Arnold and Jesse. And Predator 2 with Danny Glover, and then probably Prey, and then everything else is kind of like just slop in the Predator franchise. Predator Killer of Killers, I think is 3 or 4 vignettes. The Predator versus a World War II pilot, Predator versus a ninja or samurai, Predator versus a Viking, and I think there's one more. World War II. Yeah, Viking, World War II, unless I said that already. But that one looks good. It's animated, so maybe not for everybody, but...
Yeah, maybe... I would like to see that in theater, but I'd have to go with Al. Or you. I wouldn't go with Sarah.
I go to things. I do things.
Yeah, we'll have to go. You know,
yeah, man.
I know that halfway between you and I, there is an amazing movie theater.
You must show me
this.
And
a little closer to you, there's another theater that is pretty good, from what I understand. I've never been there. So there's at least 2.
There's one south of me. Well, and they have a branch. I don't know if that's what they call it, but it's a franchise. But there's like 2 or 3 locations in the Twin Cities, and there's one nearish me. And the only one I have experience with is with our sometimes listener, Nick. You remember Nick, but he's got one of these by him, and they're very nice places. AMC has turned into the shithole of like the bus stop of movie theaters. So
sure. What theater branch are you discussing?
Imagine.
Okay, got it.
And you can sign up for a free membership, and you get like discounts on tickets and shit. And they've got cuddle pods. I don't know why Nick always wants to go on the cuddle pod with me, but I always bring the wipes so we can wipe down the thing first before we start, cuddling and heavy petting. But
and I was discussing Marcus Theaters.
Oh, okay.
There's
a
Marcus Theater
I like Marcus.
Approximately halfway between you and I.
Sure.
And it's nice. You can get liquor and as food, and they don't have like security or anything goofy like that.
I totally do not smuggle in bottles of alcohol sometimes for consumption during, because I don't want to pay the exorbitant prices of the bullshit.
I would absolutely never smuggle in edibles or whiskey or anything like that, or food
or cigars.
Yeah.
Okay, the next episode of Nice Ashes will be from the Marcus Cinema somewhere in Minnesota.
I didn't buy the like ridiculously huge pack of sour gummies from Costco so I could smuggle them into movie theaters. I did not do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's always Reese's Pieces for me. That's my movie theater candy go-to. Reese's Pieces.
So,
sorry to hijack your thread a little bit. Those are the only movies I'm excited about coming out in all of 2025, which is a sad state of movies, in my opinion. But
that is a sad state of movies.
The re-release, it's fun going back in the theaters to see the older ones. Ones that either you saw as like a very small child, or ones you never got a chance to see because they're older than I am.
Exactly. And because theaters, I think that the business is kind of recognized that new movies suck and they're not drawing in millennials, where like the Gen Z, my nephew, who's now an adult, he doesn't go to the movie theater and he never did.
Yeah.
But I used to go to the movie theater twice, maybe 3 times a month
Same.
growing up.
Well, not growing up, but like when I was in college, we had a dollar theater. And then for a long time pre-pandemic, where my wife and I lived, it was like a $2 second. It was called a second run theater. So you wait like an extra month, and then they have all the new movies that were just out last month in the main theaters, and you could go for like $2. And it was close to the apartment that we were in, and so we could walk down there, stop by the brewery across the street, and go in and watch all these movies for $2. And the pandemic really ruined movie theaters for me because I watched so many movies at home, and I have my home. I'm not a huge like audiophile, but I have the settings and equalizer on my sound bar and, all that stuff set so that I can hear things appropriately. And I went like post-pandemic, the first movie I went to, I said, this is a fucking terrible sound mix. Like, this is god awful. Like, it's so loud. It's so fucking loud. And I just got used to listening how I wanted to listen to it. And I was like, Jesus, I don't need it this loud. Like, I'm not deaf.
It's insanely loud.
Yeah.
I wore earplugs to Dogma because like, it's a comedy movie. I don't need to hear detailed sounds, really.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I don't need those
is by
decibels.
Alanis Morissette. So, I definitely don't need the decibels. But I've heard every Alanis Morissette song on earth multiple times. I only need to hear the background. I can fill the rest in my head. I really don't need a whole lot,
Mike, real quick. I know I'm like hijacking your topic, and I don't mean to. But
no, this is experimental, Nate. This is
I know, dude. I feel
it
so like college naughty. You know what I mean? Anyway, this is what I think movies should do instead of trying to do that 4D stuff where they put the little thing that pokes your asshole in the seat, when stuff happens. Maybe you're going to different movie theaters than I am. Anyway, I think what they should do is they should have like and I don't know how you would do this, but it's 2025, so it should be possible, is to have like a Bluetooth network. You can bring your own headphones, and then you can control your own volume and shit and your own sound mix. Like, do you want the dynamic? Do you want the optimized for dialogue? Do you want, you can control your volume. Like, I don't need 4D shit. I don't need like 3D shit even. The
problem with that, Nate, and this is my criticism, is that
sure,
just about the biggest, bestest TV ever is about $1,000. And you can put that bitch on your wall, and you can connect your Bluetooth to it and do all that at home.
Well, I know.
And it's pretty reasonable to do that. Like, it's within the grasp of the majority of people who are going to listen to this show, right?
Yeah, your tax refund, man. Like, get yourself a thing. You can, you can even do. They even have like HD projectors now that you can buy that are super cheap, and you can just display it on the wall. And then
I looked at one,
Bluetooth into that.
Like, even the 4K ones, when I looked, which was granted a couple years ago, it was like $2,000, $2,500.
You can find smaller ones that work with like iPhones and shit. I'm not saying they're going to be as good as like movie theater stuff, but for the home consumer, you can't even see 4K, hardly. I think 4K is like real life almost. So you're not really going to need it. And you can get equally good things, right? Where you can even control the blacks, you can control the whatever, you can control the contrast. You can be the projectionist, basically. So I'm agreeing with you in a kind of a nerdy way.
Right. Well, and I've talked to my spouse about this. When our big TV upstairs goes, we're probably going to go with like a theater type setup. Like, I want a larger TV with a better sound system, so we can watch like The Sound of Music or Lawrence of Arabia and have a theater experience at home. You know what I mean?
Zhivago.
Like, those are films that are even Dr. Strangelove, something like that, where it's like
almost anything
big.
Made not in the 2020s and beyond.
Right. Like, even like OG Star Wars. It's cool as hell on the big screen.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, like the original Highlander.
Yeah.
Fucking Blade Runner 2049. Fucking phenomenal. We've been talking about getting a bigger TV because ours is only 1080. It's a dumb TV. It's not a smart TV because I didn't really want a smart TV because it's like, what? I've got the little Roku thing sticking in the back, so I can do all the Roku shit, right? I can watch Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and whatever else. But I don't need a smart TV. I don't need my TV updating every time I want to watch something. And but we've been talking about getting something bigger, like 4K. And what I did for our TV, which is really nice, and this is something I would recommend people to do is we went to IKEA and they sell these LED strips with a little like box. You control the color and all that. And I put them on the back of the TV for backlighting. And that really enhances the video experience to have some backlighting on the TV to give it a little bit of contrast. And it is really nice. And so like for horror movies, we'll make it red and stuff like that. It's fun. You can change the colors. The white is a little too bright, so I wouldn't recommend that. But, any other kind of like mellow color. And I've seen people hack this stuff where you can actually run it into your DVD player or Blu-ray player or streaming stick. And you can actually have it basically extend the colors on the actual movie on the edges, and it will update in real time. So it's kind of like, you can make it as crazy as you want to, basically, is what I'm saying. But I've had no problem with the static color behind there. And it's been really nice. Like, it really does elevate the home theater experience.
That is pretty cool. Very cool.
Do you want to do a halfway check before we launch into your actual topic, Mike? Sorry, we've been like jaw jacking.
No. We are talking about the actual topic. This is part of the deal, So halfway, I'm not quite halfway. However, I am very close.
Yes.
It's getting sour. There's a sour undertone.
Is it?
I don't know if I care for it.
Well, I've been not smoking it probably as fast as you. I'm not getting a sour undertone. Have you been smoking pretty aggressively, Mike?
No, but I'm taking the big puffs. So it's getting hot and then cooling and hot and cooling and hot and cooling.
Well, and it does come in a Robusto, and this is not a Robusto.
No, Robusto would be longer.
I think the Robusto,
Robusto would be better.
Yeah, I think 100%. I think the Robusto would definitely be way better. But I don't have a problem with this one. I've been going pretty slow on this. But also you're picking a topic that is near and dear to my heart. If I ever pick a topic of bowling or bowling adjacent things, it'll be, the same as this, but flopped.
Exactly. Oh, this would be a good place to plug friend of the show, Jordan, who was on. He made me some kick-ass bowling shirts.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude, they are fucking awesome. Like, go back in time and re-listen to that episode, listeners.
Hell
because I made a logo with my limited abilities to manipulate AI and GIMP.
Yes.
And Jordan put it on that t-shirt, and it is fucking cool. Super cool. I cannot recommend enough. If you have like a softball team or a bowling team or a dart team or whatever you're doing where you want t-shirts or polos or whatever, that's a great resource.
That shirt that I got for you, and I got one for myself because by the time this episode comes out, I'll have already gone, but I'm going next week as of recording to go visit Simha for the weekend. And he's going to bring me to his, I told him I wanted the full Hasidic Jew experience. So he's going to bring me to his shul for Shabbos and everything. And he told me I could wear whatever I want. So I got a t-shirt. And I got Mike one too. That is Walter from Big Lebowski, and it says I don't roll on Shabbos. And I also got bucket hats, one for Simha, one for me that says Juicy, but it's Jewcy. So I'm going to see how much I can get away with going to his religious institution. He doesn't know about these yet. Anyway, but when Jordan gave me these t-shirts, and you have the t-shirt, I was blown away because I'm actually wearing a Jordan t-shirt right now as recording. And this is one of his very first ones that he did before he got all the equipment and everything. And I'm wearing a Mandalorian one. This is the way, in the half Mando helmet and everything that my daughter thinks is a refrigerator. But the quality of the new t-shirt, because it's been, I don't know, a year, 2 years since I got a t-shirt from him. The quality of the new t-shirt was, it was astounding. Like, it was better than anything you could get at like a Target on the shelves. And so, yeah. And he also does stickers. And I referred another guest and our sole listener, Keith. Keith's podcast was wanting stickers. And so he was asking who was that guy that did the Nice Ashes stickers. And so I sent him Jordan's number, and he's getting a bunch of stickers, and Jordan will do some of that photo manipulation work. So he took Keith's logo, put a QR code and other stuff, and made a real nice sticker for Keith. So go back and listen to that episode. But yeah, great plug, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. And FYI to listener, I volunteered to do the Photoshop work. I used to do a lot of that as a younger man. So I kind of want to...
For strictly professional reasons, right, Mike? Completely professional?
Yeah, nothing to do with 4chan. Nothing to do with 4chan.
Yeah. You didn't also watch that tutorial of how to expose breasts from white t-shirts that actresses were wearing, did you?
Oh, X-ray technology?
Just me then? Okay.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
What are you talking about? What is that? That's disgusting. Where is it?
It makes me sick. Where? What? So, Yeah. So what I wanted to talk about, kind of, and we've been talking about, is the older movies that are having anniversaries that are going to get re-released to theaters.
Yes.
Yeah, because these are movies that I would go
theaters.
see, which means that I'm probably going to have to travel because, of course, my local theater will undoubtedly not be showing these, but there will be theaters near you, listener, as long as you're willing to drive an hour or two.
I
and
always
you'll
am.
be able to find something.
This is the movie I want to
So-
see, man. Not to keep hijacking your shit. But
Yeah.
the Imagine Theater that I talked about, they have a whole schedule of old movies that they just show for reasons. And I was so bummed because I missed The Never Ending Story. And they
I
were
would love to see
showing
that
it.
movie.
And
Never watched it.
You've never watched it ever?
Never watched it ever.
Dude, when are you going to come down for a weekend? Because I want to watch Never Ending Story with you, and then I want to show you the German cut, which I never saw until I was older. But the American cut, I grew up with and loved it. My youngest brother hates it. Sorry, Josh. But the middle brother and I just absolutely loved Never Ending Story.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I have access to that technology and watch it at home. However, it would be better to watch it with you.
Yeah,
for
and then we
sure.
could do an episode on it.
So we'll have to plan something. That's how busy my summer is.
We're gonna have to get one of those big blow up outdoor movie screens and a projector. We're just gonna have to drop the $2,000. All right, and we'll get one of those big blow up projectors or blow up screens with the projector, and then we can watch shit in the backyard and smoke cigars while watching.
Dude, so
if that's not the
Sarah
best thing
and I
ever,
talked about doing this.
I don't know what is.
Off the front side of the smoking porch, Sarah and I talked about getting a pull down, like a white pull down, and setting a projector up in those like white cedars, because I have electricity there. I have a pedestal, so I can set up a
out
projector
in the current
on the
bush
front
field
side of the house. Yeah, yeah. But I actually have power. Like I could set up a projector right there. Like no worries. Not even need an extension cord. There's already a pedestal there. So
hell yeah,
yeah. I've talked about it,
Big
or
things,
we could do it on the
big
end of
things
the
in the
smoking
works.
porch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I could do the end of the smoking porch too, and then the end of the house could be the screen.
Yes.
And I don't know, big plans, right? Big plans will never happen. But
yes, best laid plans, right?
Yeah. I'd have to mow the lawn then. Anyway, my lawn is mowed.
You get one of the lawn mowing Roombas or whatever they are, right? Put some steak knives on your Roombas.
I looked at that, and none of the ones that I could find had enough space to be able to do my yard. My yard's too big for any of the ones that were on the market when I looked.
You need like 3 or 4 of them. You need a flock of them, Mike, a flock.
I want one to do it all, kind of like when I lived in an apartment. I always had clean floors because I had a fucking Roomba, and it would do that for me when I was gone.
Yes. All right, we've been dilly-dallying enough. What are the old releases coming out this year that we should see, that we should go look, we should watch? Right.
So these are all movies that are going to have national releases. It'll probably be in, 1,500 to 2,500 theaters. So maybe not in the town you live in, but you should be able to get there if you want to see them.
If you're that, if it's a movie near and dear to your heart that you feel is worth the drive.
Yeah, exactly. So first on the list, and I genuinely would like to see this. This is going to be the re-release of The Sound of Music. And this is going to be the 60th anniversary of the movie, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah. And I would like to see The Sound of Music.
It's been on my mind a lot. I watched it a lot growing up, and it made me feel sad when Christopher Plummer didn't like filming it.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he... I don't know why he didn't like doing it. He's been on record saying he didn't like it, at least like the process of it. But I'm sure because it's, one of the greatest movies of all time, or definitely shows up on a lot of those lists, right? Greatest movies of all time, that it didn't hurt his paycheck any or his checkbook any. But I don't know if it was like he didn't like the other actors he was with or didn't understand. I don't know. I mean, sometimes you get people like, there was one in like Lord of the Rings who didn't understand the script and just showed up anyway. And like, well, congratulations, you're in one of the greatest movies ever. So
yeah, who is that? That's who I want to know. Lord of the Rings is
right,
one of the defining movies of our generation.
I think you have to understand that actors and creative types, and I was talking about this with somebody else recently, where it's like creative types don't always get along. There's a lot of big egos and things. And I did a lot of, when I was in film school, we did a lot of helping out with other people. And I would be helping these other people with their films. And I'm like, why the fuck are they doing it this way? Like, this way makes so much more sense and whatever. And I had to and that was kind of, you learn to work with people, and it's not my vision. This is this other person's vision. So I'm just going to unless they ask me, right, I'm going to just do what they want. More so when editing, because I edited one of my fellow students' film projects, and then he wanted it changed. And I was like, dude, no, the beats though, man, like everything here. Anyway, so, you get some weird stuff, and maybe you don't like working with somebody, or maybe they've got like halitosis, or who knows all the reasons. I think it's pretty well documented. We don't have to get into why Christopher Plummer didn't like the filming of Sound of Music, but it's out there on the internet. You can check it out. But it's a little disheartening sometimes to hear that film trivia, but great film, kind of a fucking wild ride if you think about the plot of that movie.
Oh, for sure. They would never have a movie like that now. They would, but it wouldn't be good.
No.
It would be terrible.
Well, they make that kind of movie all the time where it's like you start out with something and then randomly something else happens and randomly something else happens, but there's no reason and there's no character arc throughout the thing because everybody's a strong, independent they, them, or whatever it is, right? And here, man, the whole like arc, it's just nuts. Like the whole plot of Sound of Music is nuts. But it all makes sense. Well, yeah, it's based on a real story and real events, and it happened to them and it happened to countless other people. This happened to. Yep. Not exactly, but
And
yes.
Fun fact, my mom told me this when I was a kid, and I later found out it was true. That one of the Van Trapp daughters did Playboy. Famously did Playboy.
Okay.
So, yeah, famously. Well, I think back in the day doing Playboy was not, it was pretty socially acceptable for famous women to do. A tasteful.
Well, that's the difference, right? I mean, the difference between Playboy and OnlyFans is Playboy, you had actual literal photographers who were making art. Sure, it could be smutty art, but I've not seen any Playboy or any OnlyFans. But I can imagine that, if you're doing it all yourself on OnlyFans and you get money, the more money, the more crazy shit you do, it's not going to be as tasteful as like a centerfold in Playboy, where it's like the lighting is great and your hair is great and your makeup is great and,
Right. Also, backstory for those who are too young to have read a Playboy, which I don't think there's many people listening that are. Playboy had legitimate interviews with real,
I certainly did.
Characters.
You read those for the articles. The pictures were just a plus.
You could legitimately do that.
Well,
not
yes.
that's like what you're actually doing.
That's not why you did it.
They legitimately had real interviews, and
but that was always the joke
in like real stores. I mean, it was like a joke, but they did real interviews with people who were famous and important. Yeah. And politicians and whatever. Anyway, on to the second movie.
The Osama bin Laden centerfold was disturbing, but the interview was great.
Oh, man. Burka.
Muhammad Jihad.
Oh. This is something that you might be interested in, Nate. I'm not, but you might. They're going to re-release Babe for the 30th anniversary of the
movie.
film.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the pig movie. Yeah, but you might want to take the kids to that. That's pretty cool.
Who said anything about the kids, Mike? I grew up watching that movie. Why would I bring the kids? Babe would be cool to see. I haven't thought about that movie for a fucking long time. The farmer guy plays Zefram Cochrane in First Contact, Star Trek First Contact.
Oh, yeah. So he does.
Yeah.
So he does. Also, 30th anniversary release, Clueless, which some people want to go to. My wife probably will want to go to.
I'm going to make a on podcast confession, Mike. I've never seen Clueless or 10 Things I Hate About You. I've never seen either of those two movies.
I will make a podcast confession as well. I did not see those until there was a woman living in my house that wanted me to watch them. So I did. And they were perfectly adequate movies for what they are.
Sure. Chick flicks?
If you like that sort of thing. Yeah, chick flicks. Like a rom-com that is the target audience is women.
Yeah.
And that's a perfectly fine movie genre.
Yeah.
It's just not, Mike, I'm not the target audience.
Do you want to know my absolute favorite chick flick, Mike? As long as we're doing this is experimental, right? This is experimental episode. And we're doing podcast confessions, right?
Yeah.
My absolute favorite rom-com, which I had to show to my wife. She had never heard of it. Return to Me, starring David Duchovny and Minnie Driver.
All right, Nate. I'm searching for it. It's on my watch list. What is it called again?
Return to Me. It's such
Enough
a good
said.
one. It's such a good one. I'm not even going to say anything about it, but if you want
enough
to...
said, I'm watching it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where, depending on how sensitive everybody is, there will be tears, but it's such a great story. They really did. Maybe it has cliches, but I don't know. Like, everything is so good about it that enough said.
There we go. Now, this one's a big one. You listeners may know, and
Sure.
I know that certain theaters, like the Parkway down in Minneapolis, is going to do a little bit of an expansion. But there's going to be a nationwide re-release of Revenge of the Sith.
Sure.
Because it's the 20th anniversary of Revenge.
Well, and Hayden was out at one of the other ones, just hit their 20th. And he was out meeting fans and signing autographs and stuff.
Yeah. They've been re-releasing the Star Wars movies as they hit their anniversaries back in the
because they can't make a good one anymore.
We're not going to say that. I
will.
But so like
Kathleen Kennedy,
like
you
Parkway,
come on the show and you defend yourself.
Yeah. Why did you ruin your legacy? You were
She's on
clearly
everything,
the right
man.
choice.
I've been watching a lot of like older 80s and 90s sci-fi stuff, and it's always like, producer Steven Spielberg and Kathleen Kennedy, or like she got in with a good crowd back then, and then I don't know what happened, man, but she got full control. And
I know we discussed it on the show.
We did.
But all these YouTube freaks who are trying to badmouth her is nonsense. She was clearly the right choice to take the studio over. It's just when she took it over, something happened.
Yeah.
And she didn't do the thing that she had done for her entire career before then. She had a proven track record of excellence.
She has a proven track record, and I think the problem is that some people, and especially these older directors like Ridley Scott, looking at you, and Francis Ford Coppola, I don't know, whatever the fuck your last movie was that was supposed to be good, but it was absolute dog shit. Like some of these big names, and they have proven track records. These people, what these people need? They need like one or two people to tell them like, what the fuck, dude? They need people to rein them in. And Kathleen Kennedy has a very specific set of skills that is fantastic and is really good for a lot of things. But I don't think head of studio is within her set of skills. I think she needs someone to tell her no, to put those constraints on her and say, look, no, you're not doing that. Make it work with this. And a lot of times when you have constraints, you put out better stuff anyway than you do if you have everything you want.
Rules are what makes the thing good. Right. If you play a game,
and how you can break them,
rules.
Right? How you can break them without, tanking everything.
How you stretch them.
Yes.
How much you can rig it within the rules that exist.
Yes.
Like, that's what we're here to do, right? Max out your potential within the confines of the rules. That's what makes it fun. Like, I don't know why people don't fucking get that.
I know.
I didn't get it when I was 14, but I'm not 14 anymore.
You don't want
I'm older now.
14, but Ridley Scott, come on, somebody's got to tell you no. Find a couple people to just tell you no. Just have chat GPT tell you no like 20% of the time, and your movies will be 1,000 times better.
Yeah, modders, fucking guys. Anyway. So I wouldn't mind seeing Revenge. And like I say, certain theaters, I know for a fact that Parkway in Minneapolis is doing it. They're going to do the 6 originals and then the 3. They're going to do them in sequence. So they're going to do 1, 2, 3, and the third movie is going to be the national release. Then they're going to do 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. They're going to do them all kind of in like, there is no 7, 8, 9. There we go. Yeah. I gave it a chance and it failed. Anyway.
Yes.
So this is another movie that I would like to watch. Genuinely. One of my favorite, you could call it a chick movie, Pride and Prejudice. It's the 20-year anniversary of Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley and the other people. All the other characters, but Keira Knightley is the main actress.
Yeah.
In that
Keira
one.
Knightley is in it, and some other, people, I guess.
Yeah, Donald Sutherland's in it, but
I've never seen it, Mike. I read the book, and the book was so fucking boring, dude. Well, so I told you this story. I don't know if I said it on air, but I wanted to, when they re-released a lot of these like classic novels like Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, I was like, oh, I want to read Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, because it was kind of like the same time that like Cards Against Humanity came out, and everybody was into this like, we can be cheeky and we can, like put zombies into these Victorian novels and shit like that. I was like, man, I should read Pride and Prejudice. And so, like, I read it and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is so boring. I don't even want to read it with zombies. Like, zombies wouldn't make this any better. But to be fair, I was in college, and maybe I'll give it another chance if you like Pride and Prejudice. But what's the one you like? What's your favorite one? Because that one, Middlemarch. Is it Middlemarch?
Middlemarch is George Eliot, and that is
Well, I
a Victorian
understand that.
novel.
But is that your favorite Victorian
Yeah.
novel? Like, that's one on my list that I want to read. I want to read it and give it a
No,
fair shake.
it's not. I'll be honest with you. It's not my favorite Victorian novel. I do like Victorian literature, and I would generally say, and this is a cop-out kind of, but my favorite Victorian literature is Sherlock Holmes.
Sure.
I like the Sherlock Holmes. And that crosses from Victorian to Edwardian. So it's
Yep.
like late Victorian. I also like Dickens a lot. I know
Okay.
it's very repetitive. Once you've read one Dickens novel, you pretty much know the plot of all of them.
Poor people.
But I do like, poor people who are good, rich people who are bad, also rich people who are good, and poor people who are bad, and they interact and kind of fuck each other over a little bit, and then the poor person who's good wins, and the rich person who's bad loses, right? Like, that's every single one. So it's what it is. The Jane Austen novels are actually Georgian literature, and
As everyone knows.
yeah.
I'm just teasing my
And I would like
have
to
no
say,
idea.
just to attack Nate.
Oh, fuck.
Mark Twain once said that if a person only owned Jane Austen's novels, that it would indeed make a library. And I like Jane Austen. I've read all of her novels, and I think they're wonderful, even though they're pretty much the same story.
And I like
as
Samuel
well.
Clemens, so I guess I have to concede the point that there's
There we
some
go.
good to come from Victorian novels. I tried reading Doctor Strange and Mr. Neuro, which is like it's a modern book, but it's about like Victorian, and it's written in a Victorian style, and I found it very, very boring. But I kind of want to give it a try again because a lot of people really like it. But again, just because a lot of people like something doesn't mean you like it, right?
Right. A little advice for the listener. If you're going to read a Georgian novel or a Victorian novel, if you're going to read some Jules Verne, you kind of need to do research as you read it, because they're going to talk about things, and there's going to be subtext that you don't understand.
Sure.
And something like Jane Austen, a ton of subtext. And you have to know what that subtext is, because these novels were written for other educated people of that era. They weren't written for normal people, right? Like,
so
these
you're
are for
saying
people.
they're written like Sparked was written for educated people. No, I mean, that's fair. But like, so, and they've been putting out all of these, I've seen them, all of these annotated editions of these novels. And so it might be well worth your time, from what I hear from you, Mike, is if you can find annotated editions of these Victorian and Georgian Edwardian novels, because it will explain the context of some of these things. They've got like annotated Shakespeare, right, to explain some of the jokes or some of the context or the subplot or the nuances of the language and of the thing. And speaking of making movies under rule, like Shakespeare had a lot of rules he had to follow to be able to put plays on for the Queen and all of that stuff. And you know, like, I don't know anybody who hasn't heard of Shakespeare, whether you like him or not, but he was one of those kind of cheeky fuckers, right? Because
Absolutely.
of the rules.
Because
Because
of
of the
Wilde.
rules.
Like,
Well, Oscar Wilde,
Oscar
for sure,
Wilde
too. Yeah.
had to write under extreme rules, and his literature is some of the best ever made, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of that Victorian Edwardian crossover.
Yes.
Kind of a very rich literary period, because Germany, the United States, France, and the UK were all extremely advanced nations, and they had a wide readership of educated readers. So a lot of good stuff. But all of it has subtext that is lost to us now. We're 100 plus years, 200 plus years away from the society that they've taken place in. So you kind of have to get that.
Even like the Federalist Papers, like the founding of the country, you're going to need context for a lot of it.
Right. Well, there's great Georgian literature that took place in America. Melville and Thoreau and all these guys that are like the Transcendentalist movement in the United States occurred.
Yes.
In that era. So
yeah. And I'll take another opportunity to plug American Bloomsbury, which is a nonfiction book about Thoreau, Melville.
Yeah, and the Transcendentalists all in
all
Concord.
of them.
Very interesting
all
book.
in Concord. That's a
extremely interesting
fantastic book.
Oh,
so
good.
You don't understand how tight-knit that American literature community was at the time.
they all knew each other. Even
They did.
Melville, who like was
Yeah.
a blip, lived there. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, and he wasn't necessarily a transcendentalist for sure, but he was like
No,
a neighbor.
but
He was a neighbor of them,
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, we're going over to Melville's house right now," and it's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? And yeah, it's a great book. It's a great read. I really enjoyed that book. It was fantastic. But it's crazy because a lot of these creative types know each other. It might be less so now, I guess. I mean, you've got like Andy Weir.
Back in the day,
who wrote
like, the
Martian.
Transcendentalists were all in Concord because Emerson inherited a shit ton of money. So
Well,
he
he
just
was their
like,
sugar
paid for
daddy,
these
basically.
losers. Yeah, he paid for these losers to live with them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the guys who were successful ended up dying from like exposure to lead. Like, there's a handful of them that had legitimate businesses.
And free love,
but
and
they all
whatnot,
died.
right?
Yeah, well, yeah, they were in a free love, and they were all sorts of weird shit. That artists, these people are into.
Transcendental man. Yeah, very interesting. And but I mean, like modern day, like Andy Weir only became famous because he released a chapter every so often on his website for The Martian, and then it turned out to be everybody fucking loved it, and then he got picked up by a publisher after the fact, after he released everything online for free, people to read.
Well, he's a copycat in that because that's how all these guys, Conrad, Dickens. They had these newspapers that you would subscribe to, and they would have a chapter. So we don't have those anymore, but yeah, they would have like this magazine. They have a chapter of like 5 books published in it. And then you'd be following like, oh yeah, like there's going to be a new Sherlock Holmes story, and there's going to be a chapter out of Bleak House, and there's going to be a chapter out of fucking Moby Dick.
Yep,
and then you're going to read like a chapter.
They did it with a lot of early sci-fi too. They had a lot of early sci-fi magazines that carried chapters of stories, right?
Well, yeah, the Pulp Fiction era.
Yeah.
The Pulp Fiction days. H.P. Lovecraft was the same way. And a lot of these guys that we now know and love. Yeah, it's too bad we don't have that anymore. But there are apps and websites that do that now. My nephew is a big fan of one of them. I can't remember what it was called. But he subscribes to an app where people write books and they release chapter by chapter. And it's pretty legit.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's live and well.
Yes. More movies, Mike. What's coming out? What else is coming out? What else are we going to go see? We got a full summer, it looks like.
We do. And these are mostly going to be summer releases because, summer blockbuster time.
Yes.
The next one is going to be one that I've never watched, but I want to.
Oh,
Brokeback Mountain. 20th anniversary of Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, we should totally get a cuddle pod for that one, Mike.
Dude,
I watched it.
I don't know how I missed Brokeback Mountain in theater.
I know how I missed
big,
it.
And I just never watched it. I don't know why.
I know why.
But apparently it's a very good movie. So
it is a good movie.
Why do you say that?
Well, so I missed it in theaters, and I never watched it until my wife was like, "You've never seen Brokeback Mountain?" I'm like, "Dude, that's so gay. Like, why the fuck would I watch that? It's literally the gayest movie out there." It's not, because there's lots of other
It was a woman movie.
Gay things online, right? But I did watch it, and it's like a chick flick, but with dudes, right? But it's the interesting thing is it's not just a chick flick, right? I mean, these main characters. And I missed it because I was confused at the time, not sexually, but I was, my parents were pretty hardcore Lutheran, and they were fighting their Lutheran synod wanted to allow homosexual pastors, and they wanted to go to a synod that didn't allow homosexual pastors. And I was in college, and I was like, well, homosexuality is bad because that's what I was taught growing up. And, turns out, hey, it's not bad. It literally doesn't matter. It's not a big thing. Like, people do what they want to do. It's well documented throughout history. Who cares? It literally doesn't matter. Like, why would I have any concern about watching 2 gay guys? It's not going to turn me gay. It's not going to turn Mike gay. It's just a love story. But that's the whole thing. It's a love story. But the cool thing about Brokeback Mountain is the complexity they put into the characters. And so they actually do character building. Modern filmmakers take fucking note. They build the fucking characters. So it's good. Anything by Nicholas Sparks is absolute trash. Like The Notebook, fucking trash. Like anything he does, Nights in Rodenthe, trash. Like, just terrible. But character building in Brokeback Mountain is a thing. And that's the kind of story I can get behind if you can build your characters, because the characters drive everything. You can't just do, I'm sorry, Marvel, Disney, you can't just do CGI and expect everybody to, bend over backwards and pay.
Right. Well, and I will say that I have memories from that era, and
Sure.
Brokeback Mountain was sold as a chick flick. And that wasn't the sort of movie I was going to watch in 2005. So
yeah,
I really didn't know a whole lot about it. I was always pro-gay marriage to many of my friends' chagrin who were pro-civil union, if you remember that debate of the time.
States' rights.
I had a lot of friends who were
rights.
pro-civil union because they didn't want to shit on the churches. And I was like, nah, dog. Like, marriage is a government contract.
Shit on those
That's
churches.
still my line.
Shit on them.
Yeah. I'm not into shitting on churches necessarily, but like
I
government contracts are government contracts. So.
Yeah, well, and that's why I became an ordained minister as an atheist, because I thought to myself, gee, if people want to get married and they want the ceremony that they want, why would they pay a church? Why would they pay the government when they could instead pay me?
Exactly. And I do know that you're an ordained minister.
I know
enough.
you know, and so does Keith.
Yeah, weird.
But
hey, there we go, Keith.
Yeah. But but for me, it's not really about the money, because it's I don't really make much money from it anymore. I used to make more when I lived elsewhere as a tourist wedding destination, and I had one. It was fucking weird as shit. I didn't want to do it because my dad worked in the prisons, and there was this woman, and she's like, I want to get married to my husband or to my fiance, but he's in the prison. So you'd have to come into this like secure facility and do this thing. And I'm like, okay, well, it's going to cost you like $1,000. And she's like, no, I can't afford that. I can afford like $100. I'm like, well, then, talk to the prison chaplain, because I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not going to go. Not that like, maybe he was wrongfully convicted. I don't know, but it was too much hassle for me. So I didn't, I priced myself out,
dude,
of it. Right.
I would have done it for the story. Like, I'm one of those guys, though, as you know.
Man.
I would have done it just because I fucking
Well, you know what? If somebody now listening to the podcast, if you can find my wedding officiant profile online and you send me a message and say, hey, I heard this episode of your podcast and you told me you'd do it so you could talk about it on the podcast, I'll come and do it. But I didn't have a platform for stories at the time, and I had enough stories from prisons from my dad, so I just didn't feel like the need to go through like the pat down and all the shit, right? Like, make it worth my while then. I mean, you've got a prison chaplain, he'll do it. He's paid by the state. He'll fucking do it. It's not a big deal. Like, why would you want
that's that
you
guy's
need me?
job. So
yeah, it's literally what he does. He would be pleased as punch to come and do that for you.
Yep. Hell yeah. Okay. And this is one that you and I both would be interested in.
Yes.
50th anniversary of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Holy fuck, dude.
They
Put that on the calendar right the fuck now.
National release of Monty Python. That would be fucking epic. That would be such a fun one to go to.
Dude.
Oh my God. That would be
so
fun
to go to. Put it on the calendar. Let's buy tickets right now.
We'll have to find a place. We'll talk after the show. We don't need to talk about Monty Python and Holy Grail. Everybody fucking knows.
Dude.
Another
that
50th
could be a whole like 5
release.
episodes. Anyway.
Right.
Carry on.
Another 50th anniversary release. Jaws.
Yeah.
Jaws is going to get re-released. That'd be cool as fuck to see in a theater.
That would be fucking badass.
That'd be cool as fuck. Absolutely. Be great. Obviously, it's fucking Jaws. Everybody knows Jaws. If you haven't seen Jaws, go and watch it. You're a fucking troglodyte if you haven't
The rest
seen
of
Jaws,
them, not so much, but like Jaws for sure.
Dude, Jaws, Jaws, the movie about how the biologist did not fuck the sheriff's wife, as one reviewer said. Because in the book, the biologist dies because he fucked the sheriff's wife.
Okay.
And in the movie, there was no hanky-panky, so everybody could live. Spoiler alert.
Yep. Well, and I guess like Jaws has very little to do with the shark. It has more to do with the government control and oversight on this tourist beach, where the governor wants the beach open. That's all he wants. He doesn't give a fuck about the shark.
Yeah,
he just wants the beach open.
Yep. Yeah. It is literally not about the shark at all. The shark is like there. It's more about like how shitty governments are, which is a theme.
Yes.
Still.
Yes.
And always has been. And
sadly so.
Probably always will be.
Yes.
So, yeah. And then the last one on my list that I really have, and my cigar is almost over. I got about 2 inches left, maybe.
Yeah, so I'm starting to dislike this one
a little bit.
For sure. But yeah, go on.
It's starting to turn sour. It's a little too long for its own britches. This is one more 50th anniversary release. I'm much less excited about it because this has had continuous showing in movie theaters for 50 years. There has never been a week in this country where this movie has not been shown in a theater.
Is it The Room?
But it's going to get re-released nationally.
Okay.
So if you are in an area where you typically don't have this available, it's going to be shown. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's what I was thinking. I said The Room as a joke, but Rocky Horror is what I thought.
Yeah. Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is fantastic. I love that movie.
Yeah, I need to watch
have
that
yet
one again.
to go watch a midnight showing.
I want to go see midnight showing. I was just talking to my wife about that. I said, one of the things I want to do is go to one of the midnight showings where everybody's fucking doing the time warp and being super freaky.
Dude, my aunt's uncle was part of one of the big productions in Minneapolis in the 90s.
Nice.
Productions being like showing the movie with the extra shit, like all this fancy stuff.
Yeah.
So I would love to go see a real midnight showing of Rocky Horror.
Yes.
But yeah. If you haven't gone, go. I have not. Sarah has. She says it's fantastic. I would love to go. She wants me to dress up as Meatloaf.
Sure.
Inside joke related, but
you'd be a good Meatloaf. You would be.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So we'll tell a little story. I was hunting in North Dakota, and we were in this shithole bar in the middle of nowhere. My hunting buddies. Nobody knows us. We're kind of the outsiders, and we're drinking very heavily. And I had long hair at the time, and we were drinking and having a good time. And Meatloaf came on, and I was like, "Hey, that's my fucking dad!" Because everybody in the hunting group called me Son of Meatloaf because I was like long haired and chubby and whatever, you know. And this fucking guy who we didn't know, he doesn't know us, we don't know him. He's like, "Are you really the son of Meatloaf?"
Did you tell him your name was Baby Loaf? Your name is Baby Loaf.
Yeah, and before we could say, no, it's a joke, he screamed to the bar, "Hey, everybody, the son of Meatloaf is here." And it's like a town of no one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the town went up by 50% when the hunting group came to town, you know?
Yep.
And it was pretty funny. Pretty fucking funny.
Hell yeah.
And Rocky Horror, I mean, it's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it, and definitely see it in theaters if you can. But it's way less exciting than all the other movies because,
well, sure.
I would love to watch
Return
in theater again.
Yeah, Return.
Yeah, I watched Return in theater the first time.
Holy Grail. I'd go see Brokeback with you. For sure.
Dude, I would totally go see Brokeback. I've never watched it.
Yeah.
And like I say, I know it's a really good movie. It wasn't up my alley at the time. Like, I'm not going to the theater to see a chick movie.
Yeah. Well, and so like, I want to say one more thing about Brokeback. So you modern times, 2020 beyond, right? You get these people that are upset about, I don't know, casting non-disabled, non-homosexual, non-trans people in these roles. Like Eddie Redmayne got kind of put on blast on the internet because he starred as a trans character in a movie. And Brokeback Mountain, neither of the main actors are homosexual or gay, but nobody cared. Like, nobody's ever gone back and said, why didn't they cast actual homosexual actors in these roles? And like, that's kind of a modern thing where they want actual people that actually have the life or the lifestyle of these characters being portrayed on film. And for me, it's like, man, if the story is good, nobody cares. Look at Brokeback Mountain. If the story is good, nobody cares. Look at Schindler's List. Like,
closeted gay ranchers to play the parts of the movie.
Well, and that's the thing. And even Brendan Fraser got some backlash for his comeback film, The Whale, which was fantastic, because he wasn't an actual overweight homosexual man. And they said it was like fat shaming or whatever. And it's like, man, these are movies. It's make-believe stuff. Sure, they could be doing, like based on reality or based on this, but it's still make fucking believe. And they're actors. If they can't portray something that they're not, like what, we need an actual fucking Klingon now for Star Trek? What are we talking about here?
I agree. All right. Well, my cigar went out with an inch and a half left. It's turning sour.
Yeah.
I'm not super interested in relighting.
I know. I put mine, I just flicked mine into the ashtray. I gave it a 2.75. It started really, really good. But at the halfway mark, I was still pretty excited about it. But after the halfway mark, it was not at all good. So I feel like this one in a Robusto would be good. I really like the first half, but the second half was not my favorite. I see you're quite a bit more generous than me. This.
I am more generous, so I put it at 3.5. I think that it started off as a 5, and it slowly degenerated. And if I were smoking this socially, I would have tossed it out probably with 2.5 inches left.
Yeah,
which is just over halfway. So, but I also think that for the price, holy fuck, This is decent.
The
This is a
price,
decent cigar.
it's decent. I really want to try the Robusto, though, because I think the Robusto of this would be A+.
A review may be incoming. We'll have to find that and make some orders.
Yes, yes. Yeah, don't go watch new movies. Go watch old movies.
Yes, and they're doing national releases now of old movies. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Like, this is fucking exciting. And the theater that we went to go watch, they had an advertising board in the theater. Only of old movies that were going to get released that year in that theater.
Yes, I've seen those too.
They're advertising. They're like, come and watch these classic films. And I'm like, God damn, I'm going to come.
Well,
I'm gonna, I'll buy a pop from you for sure.
Yeah, I got to put my whiskey in something, right?
Well, yeah.
I don't have to, but, if I'm going to make a 3-hour movie, then yes. But
exactly. So
yeah, well, that is exciting because the new movies mostly are trash. They're very mediocre, and those are the good ones, right? The mediocre ones are the good ones nowadays, and everything else is just like absolute trash. So if you get a chance to go see one of your favorite childhood films or a film that you grew up watching on VHS and you want to go see it in theaters, it's a very different experience, so I highly recommend it.
As do I. I know that Dogma in theater was phenomenal. We had a great time, so...
Yes.
Also, Fifth Element we watched in theater, and that was awesome.
Yes, I believe it. We did a whole episode on that. Go back and check that episode out if you want Fifth Element information. Otherwise, thank you for listening. Give us a feedback, comment. Check out our website, Patreon, Instagram, what have you. And we'll catch you next week.
Be safe, have fun.